Peace everyone and welcome here to the channel, to my first ever Q&A. I never did a Q&A till now. The reason is simple. I'm not a native English speaker, and to me it's very hard to speak English for a longer time. I did it already on my German channel a few years ago, but I never did it on my English channel, and I know I should have done it already, especially when seeing all your questions. I got so many cool questions from you guys. I realized it's important to do this kind of Q&A videos. One of the questions came very often in a different context. How do you finance your kitesurfing lifestyle? I find it super interesting because I always thought it's obvious. I always thought you guys know how I finance it. And the other interesting fact about this question is it was the exact same questions 2 years ago when I did the Q&A in German, what came very often. So I will answer this question in this video right now. But before I will answer a few other questions of you guys, I can't answer all of your questions because it's so much. I really appreciate it. Super cool. If I haven't answered your question, don't be mad on me. There will be another Q&A video in future, and there will be definitely another chance to answer your questions. So I'm sorry in advance. First question, we should definitely start with: what got you into kitesurfing? I was frustrated after I finished school because I didn't know what to do. And I kind of finished school, did my civil service, and I was a bit bored, kind of frustrated because I felt like the world got too small around me and stuff like this. I did a lot of music back in the days, like Hip-Hop music.
Ganz stark, Junge, nein, ich habe Rap unterdrückt. Ganz stark, Junge, mache deinen Rap ohne mich. Ganz stark, Junge, ganz hart, Junge, ganz brav, Junge. Deine Rapmusik ist doch eben so eine Bitch. Ganz stark, Junge, ja, ich habe Texte verbrannt. Ich hatte Angst, es werden nur die Falschen bekannt. Guter Gang, schlechter Klang, was die Kiddies halt so wollen. Eine kalte Emotion und wer bringt den Stein ins Rollen?
And then I was like, I need something new. Saw kitesurfing and straight away I was like, oh, that looks cool. When I was younger I did windsurfing. My brother got a professional windsurf freestyle athlete, and I think that was the reason why I would never go into windsurfing. He was always better than me. What was a bit frustrating. So I decided to try kitesurfing. I went to Egypt, took a job over there in the German bakery in Dahab. Bought a very cheap sea kite, what was not a good idea, and taught myself how to kitesurf. I definitely don't recommend this to newcomer kiteboarders. If you want to learn kiteboarding, go to a school and take a course. That's definitely the way to go. Are you still progressing in freestyle? What's the next trick on your list? I'm definitely still progressing. It is slower than it was on day one, of course, but there is so many tricks I want to learn, and and I'm still like a kid. When I have perfect freestyle conditions, I start my session with tricks I can do already, and as I feel ready to push it, I try new tricks. Of course, you don't see me doing a lot of new tricks in my videos. The reason is simple. It is because when I'm shooting and when I'm doing videos, I need to do tricks I'm sure I can land. And all of my new tricks, they're very unsafe. And I would really waste time when I'm trying it in my vlogs. So this is the reason why my riding in front of the camera and riding without camera is very different. Why do you like freestyle more than big air? Good question. I actually didn't know that it's so obvious that I like freestyle more than big air. I think this question came straight away, but the reason is simple. I really love the fact of training something for a long time, very hard and very precisely, until you are able to nail it. I remember the first bag mob, I landed it, I think in 2012. I started kiteboarding in 2010 or 2011, I'm not sure yet. And I landed the first bag mob, I think 1 or 2 years after I started. But from landing the first bag mob to landing it almost every single time, it took me, I don't know, another 6 to 8 years. So it takes years to understand a freestyle trick, and this is what I love. It's really what drives me. I think freestyle, this discipline, is the engine of my content production. Like, I enjoy all other disciplines: foiling, wing foiling, pump foiling, strapless foiling on a kite, big air, old school. I really don't care, but there's one discipline I really feel, and this is freestyle. At the moment, this is what drives me. How do you prepare to practice a new trick? I watch a video. When I want to learn a new trick or a new grab or whatever, I search it on YouTube and I watch it hundreds of times until my brain kind of understood how the trick should feel like. What made you choose core for your equipment? Also, any back story on your family introducing you into kiting. I decided to ride on core because it felt very close to me. Like, core has a very German way of thinking. At least this is how I feel about this brand. So if you need any help, or if you need any product, or to replace a product or whatever, you know you will have it the next day. And this is very important to me as a German. And as well, they are from Fehmarn, what is an island in North Germany, and I really like the vision of core kiteboarding, like being a German brand from Fehmarn and producing some of the best products in the world. So like from Fehmarn into the whole world, and this is what I liked, and this is what I felt very connected to, and this was the reason why I came to core. I bought my first kites from core, so it was not that I got always sponsored, I bought them. Also, any other backstory from your family introducing you into kiting? Nobody in my family kites. I'm the only one who's kiting, so there is no backstory. I saw it, did it, and went for it. Of course, I get a very good support from my family, and this, I really enjoy this. Like, I know they like what I do. Do you prefer light wind and bigger kites, or strong wind and small kites? It's hard to answer on this question because it really depends on the discipline. If I want to do freestyle, I definitely prefer like my 13.5 square meter and 20 knots. If I want to do big air, I prefer a 9 square meter and 30 knots. So it really depends on the discipline. What is the reason that you don't use the impact as your kite of choice to freestyle? The reason is simple. I'm a heavy rider, and lots of my sessions I'm spending in very tough and imperfect conditions. And the impact is a kite that really performs on the highest possible level a kite can perform for freestyle when the conditions are perfect. But as soon as the wind gets gusty or whatever, the impact can be a bitch. And as well, due to my weight, I need to ride bigger kites. Like, I'm riding my 15 square meter a lot of times, and the 15 square meter impact is not a real light wind kite. It's still a sea kite. So I think my next is I can ride it at least 3 to 4 knots earlier than I can ride the impact. So this is actually the reason, to have more time on the water. What do you think about the big air development? S loops, double loops, etc. Did you ever attempt a double loop? Would you dare? I find it absolutely insane how the guys are pushing it at the moment. And especially I really see big air changing over the last 12 months, since the younger generations are kind of pushing it in new directions. And as well, I have the feeling it's not even close to its fullest potential. I see them doing triple loops soon, so it's absolutely insane. If I would dare to attempt a double loop, at the moment I don't feel it. It's very dangerous, and I kind of enjoy big air when the conditions are good, and then for me it's kind of a dreamy session where I can float around in the air and kind of, it's kind of flying, art of flight. But I still want to push my freestyle riding. This is what I feel, this is what I love, and I wouldn't mind to get injured trying a back mob 5. Of course I would mind, but I mean that would be part of the game to me. But getting injured because trying a double loop, I would be very frustrated. So I really don't see me pushing it into this direction. But hey, you never know. Maybe Core brings out the perfect double loop machine where you can do it more safe or whatever. Of course, I might do it as well. Where do you learn kiteboarding? It was in Egypt back in the days in Dahab. To be honest, not the best kite spot. And here the last kite, it's not the last question, but let's finish the kite related stuff with this question. What size of board do you ride? For freestyle and wake style, when I'm riding boots, I'm riding a 142 centimeter bolt. And if I'm doing big air, old school, free riding, whatever, I'm riding a 139 centimeter choice or fusion. This is the boards I'm riding at the moment. Well, let's head over to lifestyle related stuff. This is what I really like to talk about. I really appreciated that you guys had so many lifestyle related stuff, and I really like to share this kind of stuff with you guys. So the first question, what did you have to leave behind when you decided to live in a RV? Nothing. Like, to me and my view on life, the RV like this is perfect because you don't have too much space. So you really need to kind of focus on the things you really need to live and to be productive and to work and whatever. And on the other hand, you have enough space. I have a shower, I have a toilet, I have a big fridge, I have a kitchen, whatever. So I really have everything I need to live. Plus I'm very mobile. But I know for most people this is definitely not the way to live all year long. I think it would be a cool idea to do a van tour in one of my future videos. So if you want to see a van tour, leave me a comment below. Where do you hide your keys when you go kiting? I don't tell it, but even if I would tell it, I have a dog and she's taking care very, very good for my van, so I'm never scared. She saved my butt already a few times. They tried to break into my van when I was sleeping somewhere randomly lost in Italy, and she freaked out. My dog was like, I never saw her that aggressive, and I kind of woke up and saw these guys running away in front of my door. So I feel safe when I have her. What are your plans for the future? How long in advance are you planning your life? Good question. I don't plan my life precisely. I have a vision. I have a very strict vision, and this is kind of defining the red line, the route I want to go. But due to the wind and due to like the sport we are doing, it's very hard to forecast things precisely. I mean, it's always hard in everybody's life, but especially when you're kiting and doing some kind of an outdoor sport like this, it's hard to forecast it. So I have a vision, I know where I want to go, but the way there is very carvy. Let's define it like this. Simple example, right now I'm here in Empuria Brava. I'm here since 2 weeks, and I know since 4 weeks that I can go to Empuria Brava. So I had to decide, like 2 weeks before I went here, I had to decide if I want to go or not. So it was a very fast and quick decision. So yeah, this is how it goes sometimes. What does your family think about your way of life? Do you have friends what aren't into water sport? And how do you combine your way of life with your relationship? I have a very big advantage, and this is that my family, they're not into kite surfing, but they really understand this is my way of living and this is how I want to do it, and they really respect it. And I think this is a very strong background for me. I think I wouldn't be where I am right now if I wouldn't have this background or this kind of safe feeling from behind from my family. I don't have friends that are not into kiteboarding at the moment, but the reason I think it's clear. I mean, I'm traveling all year long. I'm always at places where you are kite surfing, and I'm always together with people that are kite surfing or windsurfing or wing foiling. So yeah, there's not much connection with other people. It's kind of a bubble. Sometimes I feel like I'm living in a bubble, but it's okay. For the moment, it's okay to me. How do you combine your way of life with your relationship? That's hard. Sometimes it's hard because you don't see very often. But of course, my girlfriend, she's also kiting. And I think on one side, it's hard. And on the other side, it's very intense and very cool. Because you're doing the same thing as a passion. She's as passionate as me, and she's riding very, very good. And I really love to see her riding. And even if I'm tired or whatever, and if I had a bad session, I sit down to the beach and watch her riding, and it's beautiful. So it's into both directions. But yeah, of course, sometimes it's a tough, I don't know. Yeah, it's tough to bring everything under the same hut. This is how we would say it in Germany. Okay. Very cool question, very philosophic. How much mink do you drink monthly? Probably about 60 to 70 liters. Let's head over to the next question. Last but not least, travel related stuff. How did you enjoy the conditions in Cape Town from your last trip? I loved it. We didn't had a lot of wind. I think I came a little bit late. Went there in March, and this is already a little bit off season, but I really, really loved it. And I really like the waves at the main beach, because you have some kind of regular waves, like in between the waves it's flat, and then you have these kicker waves, and I really, really love this for freestyle and of course for big air as well. What are your favorite spots on the planet? Like, it's very subjective. My favorite place to kite surf is Sardinia at the moment, but it's changing. Like, I'm feeling home at Lake Como, and going kiting at Lake Como is definitely not the best conditions, but it feels very unique to me. And you have a lot of wind over there. Like, it's not strong, but it comes very consistently, very often, let's say like this. And yeah, and we have some great spots there, and I really love the vibe. So vibe-wise, I love Lake Como most. Kiting-wise, I love Sardinia most. So this is my choice at the moment, Sardinia or Lake Como, whenever I have time. Have you ever kited in Akyaka, Turkey? Sorry, I don't know how to say it. You should, if not, you should go. No, I never kited there, and of course I will go there. Guys, check it out, Akyaka, Turkey. I don't have any idea how to say it. Well, and now the last and probably the most interesting question for you guys, because I got asked it so many times. How do you finance your kite lifestyle? I'm getting paid for the videos I do. This is my job. Like, I'm creating content, and for the content I'm doing, I'm getting paid. And yeah, it's interesting that it's not obvious, because I always thought it should be obvious. As well, of course, I'm doing coachings right now here in Spain. I'm at the Costa Brava. I'm doing a mix of some kind of clinics and festival for core kiteboarding. So here I'm in kind of a mission. So things are changing always a little bit. I have a lot of different jobs in the industry, but my main job definitely is creating content, and this is what I'm getting paid for. Guys, I hope you liked this video. Let me know in the comment section below how you liked it, if I should do it again. And sorry to all of you who asked a question I didn't answer it. I hopefully will do it in one of my next videos. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you soon next Sunday, 12 a.m.